Ciao ragazzi, benvenuti, bentornati sul canale con una nuova avventura, un nuovo videogioco, What Remains of Edith Finch. Io non l'ho mai giocato e lo farò quindi per la prima volta qui insieme a voi. Ah, guarda il titolo, mi sembra che si allontani? No, la mia impressione? No, forse sì, la prospettiva che inganna. Ok, sta cominciando.
A lot of
Ah.
this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Ok, solo una cosa, voglio controllare se ci sono i sottotitoli, se si possono mettere. Grafica, gioca, no, gioca. Comandi, reticolo. Cosa, la grafica non ci stanno, per l'audio nemmeno. Vabbè, speriamo che ci siano.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Quindi suppongo che se la protagonista è Edith.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Ok. Ho sbagliato. Ah. Aspettate, sto giocando poi col mouse e
I
mi ci
hadn't been
sto
back since my
trovando
brother
tantissimo.
Lewis's funeral.
Ok, fratello Lewis, morto. Vediamo.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she
Ok,
thought I'd know, or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
andare giù? Credo di sì. O forse no. Diciamo quindi se lei, la protagonista è Edith.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Forse potevo andare di là. Non si può correre. No, così. Di zoom. Anche così. Andiamo giù. Qua non posso andare, ma qua sì. Qualcosa di qua. Missing. Vediamo un po' se comando. No.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it.
Ok.
But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
Ok. Quindi torniamo nella nostra casa di famiglia perché abbiamo delle domande, degli interrogativi. E speriamo di trovare qui le nostre risposte. Sì, qua.
The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent, as if they're about to say something but never do.
Quindi erano due possibili sentieri, mi si è sbloccato l'achievement. Due possibili sentieri verso la casa. Quindi tipo l'altra era questa, immagino. Voglio solo provare a vedere che ci sono delle linee di dialogo che non abbiamo visto qui. Ah, un cervo. È andato. No, era da qua. Vabbè, niente. Come non detto. C'è la possibilità di andare più veloci di così, quindi va bene, ce ne faremo una ragione. Tipo una... Cos'è? Una faccia di drago, cos'è? Forse era una parte di una barca.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Di cosa si vede meglio.
I asked Edie once about the dragon in the pond.
Ah.
She said it had killed her husband.
Ah.
I was 6. It seemed like an odd joke to me, even then.
Ok. Eddie, quindi è qualcuno. Eddie o Edith? Ah, Eddie magari è il soprannome. Quindi non è lei Edith Finch. Sarà un membro della famiglia
As a
Finch.
child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
Ma qui si entra, invece di qua... Scusate ragazzi, io sono abbastanza maniacale. Voglio sempre cercare di vedere il più possibile tutti gli angoli
Now, as a
dei segreti.
17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Ok. Quindi lei fino a 17 anni. Ah, ecco, si può entrare da qua.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Posso riuscire volendo? No. Credo
The
che a
power had
questo
been turned
punto...
off the night we left.
Ok. Credo a questo punto che non fosse possibile entrare dalla porta principale, ma bisognasse venire di qua e intrapolarsi. Allora, qua... Beh, un garage. Un'auto anche parcheggiata, biciclette. Ne vedo 2.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
In effetti, in certo senso lo sei.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Eccolo. Ah, Edith, donna Lucy. Ah, quindi lei è Edith. Edith. Dawn e Lewis. Però io qui vedo Lewis. Dawn chi è? La madre di la nonna? Sì, forse sì. Il nome in memoria Louis Finch. Louis Finch 88-2010. Brother to Edith. Ok, caro fratello di Edith. Figlio di Dawn e nipote di Eddie, quindi sì, è giusto. Eddie è la nonna, Dawn è la madre, Lewis era il fratello defunto. Nel 2010. 88, quindi 90, 2010, 22 anni. 22 anni. 21 più o meno, sì. 21 anni. 22 non
Like how
compiuti.
after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Ok, gatta. Qui ancora tutto così. Quindi loro sono andati
Or how only
via.
one restaurant would deliver to our house. So we had Chinese a lot.
Ok. Sono andati via frettolosamente. Non era un trasloco preparato,
Nothing in the house looked
pensato.
abnormal. There was just too much of it. Like a smile with too many teeth.
Ok, tipo qua. Ah, la porta è qua
My
chiusa.
mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Fratello Milton. Lì ce n'era un altro. Milton Finch. If you have information. Ma quindi è scomparso. Ecco missing, ecco cos'erano i volantini che c'erano nel
A lot
vicino
of
alla
things got
cascata.
left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
E con l'ultima notte, quindi sì. La porta è bella chiusa. Era uno studio, qualcosa. Ah, c'era qualcuno che non aveva la possibilità di salire le scale da solo in casa, evidentemente. Com'è?
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Bisnonno per Barbara insieme al resto della casa. Quindi Barbara chi è però? Barbara Finch. Attenzione. Allora, se questo è Don, c'è Edith, il fratello e l'altro fratello scomparso. C'è Barbara Finch e Sven, probabilmente erano i bisnonni che costruivano appunto la casa.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement,
Ah,
so I
ecco.
wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Ah, ok. Non è la chiave, lo scantino. Violino. Fatto la guerra anche. Time and the Gods.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Ah, la casa originale, costruita quindi dal bisnonno Sven, affondò. Affondata nel lago che la circonda. Questa era la casa originale? Beh, carino.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
Mm.
It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Mm.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
La bisnonna Edie. Com'è? Come la bisnonna? Welcome. Mi sto un po' perdendo. Ci sarà un albero genealogico da qualche parte. Ah sì, eccolo qua. Allora, Edith, 99. Milton, scomparso nel 2003. Louis è morto nel 2010. Milton era il più grande, quindi. No, era il secondo. Dawn è la madre. Aveva dei fratelli Gus e Gregory. Kay era la madre ancora. Qua abbiamo Walters, Barbara e Sven. E Eddie sta qua. Quindi Eddie è nata prima di chiunque. Ed è morta nel 2010 insieme a Louis. Donna è morta nel 2016 e il gioco è ambientato nel... dopo il 2016 sicuramente. Quindi Sven e Barbara. Ok. 1880, 1937. Quindi prima c'è stato Odin, poi Edith, poi tutti loro. Probabilmente erano i figli, tutti quanti. Perché questo è di qua? Adottato? Poi Barbara è qua. Quindi scusa, la madre era Kai sarà... magari Donna era figlia di Sam e di Kai, insieme a Gus e Gregory, ed Edie era la bisnonna, quindi era la nonna di Donna, quindi la bisnonna di Edith. Da capire perché, però, se Eddie faceva il cognome come? Perché non ha preso il cognome Finch dalla donna? Ci sarà un po' da capire qua, da mettere insieme i pezzi. Mi sembra di capire così. Comunque andiamo di sopra. Qua c'era qualcosa? No, scatolette. Qua tanti familiari.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes. I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
Zio
I think
Walter,
my mom
infatti.
sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Zio Walter sta qua, eccolo infatti. Prozio, quindi gli zii, prozio, ok, ci sta.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Eccola la chiave.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Ok, quindi la chiave apriva questa roba qua, però prima di questo volevo vedere il resto. Molly. Poi faceva una collezione di insetti. Che bello. Perché mai questa passione per gli insetti?
Edie's father Odin built the original house.
Ah, Odin. Ah, ok. E invece, quindi Odin ha costruito quella originale e Sven avrà ricostruita dopo che è stata fondata? O cosa?
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Finch. Ah, quindi Barbara qua, che è sempre una prozia. Barbara Finch. Eccola, infatti, sì, è una regista, quindi. Giusto? Tu sei Barbara Finch. C'è. Lavorava nel cinema.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
Ok. Questo chi è? Sven e Eddie. Sven e Eddie. Ok. Sven e Eddie. Sven e Eddie che è campata un bel po'. Eddie è campata 93 anni. Invece Sven non troppi. Quindi loro stavano insieme qua. Eddie e Sven. E dopo Odin, quindi Eddie è figlio di Odin, Eddie e Sven insieme. Ok, poi Sven è morto nel 64. Quindi sì, hanno fatto tutti questi qui e poi è morto. Immagino. Qui Sam e Calvin. Meno che Sven non era... Ah, no. Sì, secondo me quelle foglie lontane dall'albero, queste nere, insomma, non sono gente della famiglia, ma i partner con cui si sono accoppiati. Cioè, parte della famiglia del ramo genealogico, insomma, del cognome Finch. E qui non c'è altro, possiamo proseguire di là.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Ah, quindi i salvataggi li fa lui.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Molly che sta qua. 37, 44, 50. Quindi la più giovane delle figlie di Sven e Eddie. Prima cameretta. Dicembre 47. Ah! Attenzione perché Molly è morta a 10 anni. Ah! Dicembre 47. Barbara, Eddie, Sven. E lei quindi 47 nel 44 Barbara, quindi quando Barbara aveva 3 anni, gli altri ancora non erano nati. Sì, infatti.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Adesso siamo Molly.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. My Halloween candy was all gone.
Mangiamo il pesce?
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Ok, non ce la mangiamo.
I I kept eating and eating. I ate a lot of things that night.
Avvelenate? Non commestibili più che altro.
Then I heard chirping outside my window.
Qua non posso andare.
Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Carino sto pezzo. Dove?
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Dove che è andato? Ah, madonna.
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired.
Di là?
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits. I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. I'm a rabbit. She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Sì? E mo? Ci siamo incastrati, mi sa. Ah, andiamo di qua. Cosa folle? Ah.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Mannaggia.
I tore off her flipper and it tasted really good. Grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Facciamo ad andare di qua. Già, ok, così. Ok. Ok, dai, ci siamo. No, troppo. Ok. Scusate, ho un po' di problemi a muovermi qua, Sarà qua sopra? No. Mannaggia. Ok. Dai. Ok.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Ah, il secondo devo collegare il controller perché così non ci riesco. Molto meglio, ok. Più o meno, ok. Ah.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Scusate.
I got closer and closer. All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Ok. Ok. Ah, proprio così. Quindi una bambina dalla fervida immaginazione.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Ah, pensate. Ben.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Che la
It was
prima
a pretty
moglie.
big trace.
Che la prima moglie di Sam. Quella da cui poi sono nati Dawn, Gus e Gregory, però. Questa apre tutti i libri. Sven ed Eddie, quindi Sven ed Eddie, sì.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Incredibile. Abbiamo visto il resto della camera, però vabbè.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Tipo? Ah, ok, aspetta, perché? Se ci siamo.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
Edith Jr.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan.
Ah. Quindi, ok.
On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island.
Sì, Edith e Sven, quindi, con la piccola Molly.
Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Ok. Strano, si è imbarcato con tutta la...
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Ok. Spenneri. Non si può andare. Scrive anche libri lui. Ok. Questo penso fosse una cosa anche abbastanza importante, ma era completamente missabile se io avessi proseguito di qua direttamente. Che Calvin era un fotografo. Ok. No. Che siamo così qua. Ah. Fort Calvin. Carino.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him.
Neanche lui ne parlava mai. Sam. Calvin, è vero. Calvin e Sam. Però Calvin anche è morto all'età di 11 anni. Sam 33. Questo è in tempo per mettersi con Kay e fare dei figli. Che sono morti prima di lui, tra l'altro. Perché Gus è morto nell'82. 13 anni e Gregory ha 1 anno. Ah. Eccolo qua l'altro. Stanze segrete ovunque in questa casa. No, non c'è andare, no. Aspetta. Fammi vedere prima di qua. Quindi c'era Fort Sam. Ok. E Fort Calvin, perfetto.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did.
Sbagliato. Devo continuare così qua? Non sono sicuro di ciò.
At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't.
Barbara. Quindi la sorella maggiore. Calvin è quello che è morto presto, però. Ah, non stavo capendo, devo farlo con tutte e due insieme. Con tutte e due le levette, incredibile.
I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready!
Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. That's the day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Beh, che dire, sono sicuramente delle storie
After the
molto...
funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
molto suggestive. Al
The
limite
passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
al limite, dicevo, del reale. Qua già c'era stato. Barbara, ma di Barbara... Ah. Barbara non abbiamo sbloccato... Ah no, perché camera Barbara ancora non ci siamo andati. Forse ci andiamo adesso. Diciamo che stiamo ripercorrendo la storia della famiglia dalle origini, anche perché ai piani più bassi giustamente c'erano quelle nati prima, le camere di quelle nati prima.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Barbara è quella del cinema.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Bello, gioco io. Ah.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Haha.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Oh.
Walter, are you there? Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
Qua? Ecco.
That night, she played her part beautifully. She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet. The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, But that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Beh, ragazzi, che dire? Bellissimo. Trasuda tanta passione e tanta creatività e tanta cura dei dettagli questo gioco fino ad ora. Non so quanto durerà, penso che ho registrato un'oretta, penso di fermarmi per adesso. Comunque non era una regista Barbara ma un'attrice a quanto pare, e sono curioso di scoprire oltre. Per adesso vi stiamo raccontando tutte storie molto al limite della realtà, tutte favole sulla morte delle persone della famiglia. Chissà se sono vere oppure no, se sono solo un modo per far sembrare più importanti quelle persone morte magari disgraziatamente anche in giovane età, molto spesso. Una famiglia, come dicono, molto sfortunata. Va bene ragazzi, io mi fermo qui e ci vediamo al prossimo gameplay per continuare questa storia. Ciao a tutti!